Yes?
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and hobnails all over the yard. Isn't this something an industrial worker would wear?
Noted.
Maybe more than 12. No, 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. 1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 43. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46? You don't know. It's a miracle you can tell the prints apart as it is. The cold must have preserved them. 5. Another standard work boot, steel. 6. An aberration, light as air, even pace, same make of boot, but number 41. Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped. You're not bad. It's as if the whole world darkens. Everything else has a thin film of unimportance on it, and the tracks burn in the middle of it. 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. But the imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 8. And yet another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole.
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary? A woman or a kid? Understood. Anything else? 200? Could it be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up? Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built, soon-to-be-dead man.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows. Even easier to carry on a stretcher or between two men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can you see? Interesting. Let's name it the odd soul. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal, like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer? No, it's not. Forget I said it. We are not looking for a drummer. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out the right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
He doesn't seem to hear you, looking south toward the traffic jam instead. The machines are silent.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the...
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed, they all stood in a row here and looked at the... Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over, hoisted him up, watched him hang. This is easy. The lieutenant's eyes narrow. He's thinking to himself.
Either way. What else?
There he still is, looking right through you with his... You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having difficulty concentrating thanks to your relentless hangover. Cop habit. You look at everything. This isn't case related, you think. No, these tracks are not interesting at all. Let the street sweeper just sweep them away. An old call box with an off-key melody starts playing after you ring the doorbell. Then a woman.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid game.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
do that. Doorbells are not toys, and this one...
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead. You ring the doorbell. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's hair. All you hear is static, but no one answers the call. You ring the doorbell, but nothing happens. You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box is silence. You wait, you hear the same waiting room music, but no one picks up. Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work anymore. You hear static from the intercom speaker. You can almost hear them breathe.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come...
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
It's you. My God. I didn't...
She must be mistaking you for someone else. Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it.
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to work here, it's been different.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it's
So nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget.
She sounds like she's about to cry. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another seagull passes by. It's getting cold standing.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this doorbell. It looks ancient.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read. Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident. Silence. No one answers the doorbell. Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you. Silence. No one answers your call. This button looks new, but someone...
This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do...
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the...
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to...
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions. No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
Could the objective of the game be to throw the metal ball so it lands by the wooden ball?
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't...
I hope you pass out from it, you goddamn jellyfish.
Trying to throw something as close to a predetermined point as possible. Measuring. This must be the age-old game. Shush. Ignore them. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. You are letting down yourself and the team. Get in the damn game already. Doesn't matter what team. Pick a team. Any team. The blue team. You're letting them down. Eyes on the ball, Dinky Winky. This felt wrong. Wrong like touching your sister's breast.
Mon Dieu! Good job, officer. That was an excellent throw. What are you talking about? You just executed a pretty much perfect pétanque.
How are you ever going to get the officer's shit off your nose, Gaston? Or even climb out of his ass?
The man in the uniform says nothing. His gaze is fixed. His merry partner is staring at the ground. The lieutenant is looking at you. Everything has gone very quiet. It seems as even the waves have ceased their crashing against the promenade. It feels heavy.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law in Martinez. The union is the law, so can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. I know the kind. Gaston here is the same. A weather vane.
Oh, René. If you only knew life beyond confrontation.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realized the name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here. Everything's cool. The goods are cool. You're very cool.
You feel a twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout brewing.
Don't shoot, officer! Have we got an arrest here or just a shakedown? Good one, officer! You're a funny guy! Now what can I do for you? Then fire away, officer! You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits?
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral hassle.
It is! Practically free. Yours for 5 cents a piece. No problem here, officer. I get all this from one of my suppliers. An extremely Oh, he's a good guy. I think you'd get along. I'll let you know that.
Interesting.
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only free. I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers, all extremely cool and above board. Anything for you. Me? It's a boring story, officer.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola. Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left. That's so cool, officer. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur by buying some pens and glasses?
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember?
Oh, okay. But why, officer? An investment? What kind of investment? I hear you, officer. What kind of a sum are we talking about here? Sounds like a fair deal all around.
Corruption.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
Save the economy? That sounds off. You see two lowly, defeated speakers. Thralls. Slaves, basically.
I can see you with taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
A pair of Faun Ultras.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest Faun sneakers.
Only? That's madness. Faun Ultra. We're the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine? You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Why? What's this? A headless man
Oh, that's the headless phone rider. The headless phone rider. It's an urban legend about a man who robbed 50 cents, bargain price.
He lost his cap when he lost his head. Perhaps he's looking for the head. The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the one especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber, just make sure it works before you buy it.
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech.
That's odd. Why doesn't he like music?
Here's a good one, that. Weather resistant.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oil.
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need? Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had saved 4 myself. He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the...
Ask for his conclusion.
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, they usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il-Moran market lately. This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks, workers got a blockade.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Maybe you should. Cops don't get paid much and the hours are long. Plus, you can...
The RCM is a self-managing organization that operates on donations. We promote our own leaders. It would be like striking against your own mother. Yes, but do continue. You were asking about the strike?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane and I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching!
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
Don't be a stranger.
small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. No response. Wherever this woman is, your word.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged there. The swallow returns.
Always glad to help out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. Things are meager at the moment due to... You know, the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing, though. I'm always glad to help out when possible. Not like these slithering scabs. Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policía. It wasn't me.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss. I know nothing about a murder. Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep. Large ashtrays. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his...
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the...
What's that magazine she's reading?
You mean this? This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish. No. I don't like it. I hate it.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but... A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
She scrunches up her face into an expression of
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay? I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so not really. No. I didn't know him at all. I don't know, really long.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear anything, let us know, okay?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again? Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while. God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
He doesn't live in Martinez.
Hello again, officer. How are things? Since the street sign's messed up, there's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really. The harbor gates, some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet store, too. Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken. Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, no problem.
She's very well composed. Back straight. This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks Whoa, what have we here? A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
True, they never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol looks better, though. The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing to worry about.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. Because this is no ordinary wall, it is sublime. Look at it. The shadows, the colors. All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in Oh, Wall Father. Huh? He sounds tired of it all.
I suppose we have to pass by it again at some point anyway.
Trying to sneak up on me. Come.
Apparently, she doesn't like people standing. Logic error. She is not sleeping.
Pigs come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out. Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea.
What's that noise down there?
There must be another way to do the beating.
Hey, up here, piggo.
Yes?
Yeah, you better keep walking. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Hey, up here, piggo.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Phaeton, my maiden name. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel. There is strength there. If she wanted, she could sing.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very...
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group. Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Good. What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pine.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but...
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. Yes, past a certain point, numbers begin to seem imaginary, but they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on a conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families?
She nods.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a...
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead. Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and...
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the... Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I...
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Oh, heavens, no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does. And when it's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and...
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have... And your opinion, detective, if I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers. Mr. Clare told him to how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What, every worker? A member of the board?
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs, just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines. That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling...
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to...
This checks out.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the union's files. Indeed. The company suspects foul play. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
If the workers were organized by Wild Pines, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Of course. How else can I help? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment.
How curious. Why is that, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCA.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Of course. But before we do, officers, the situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for—
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it? Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub. A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair. Despite the first hints of grey, she's elected to keep it au naturel, positively statuesque. While dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say, within reason. Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze proceeds. You're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too. Shame? You haven't really been in the presence of gentlefolk either, have you? What shame is there to be?
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. Of course, Detective. Take care.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Bruder. Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow. The vows are blood and flesh. Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system. Fascism, Brota. You're going to keep your voos, right? Keep your voos, Brota. There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and... A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time...
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom sweeping across the concrete floor.
Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No. I already told you. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone...
Backyard door? There must be another entrance to...
Madame, I assure you, we are real
There is no reply. Just faint sweeping sounds. The door rattles again, but this...
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers... Ha! The police? Everyone knows... No. I already... Go check the...
Backyard door? There must be another entrance to the...
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent.
The streets will not flow red with...
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. And here I was trying to be polite. Just can't win with you, pig.
A brush, an artist. The red splatter is urban expressionism.
What for? Well, if it's for art, but what kind of art are we talking about? Then you have time to find your own fucking brush. You're about to cry internally, aren't you, Piggy? Oh, pathetic. Just give up. Art isn't for you. I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in...
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a...
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. Can't you tell? I'm painting a I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? When faced with a blank, we rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official...
She means the opposite.
Watch your back, ungulate.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. You're going to be looked...
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question. Understood, sir. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over and...
Yes?
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? An hour would have been bad. 2 hours is mystical. You have truly wiped out all trace of yourself if you haven't thought about rum and lemonade yet. There he is, the old boy, the devil. You rascal, you. Let's celebrate right now by licking that stain off the counter. Do it. It'll be wild. What happened, man? You used to be cool. Get your drink on and your act together.
Can I help you? Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and Yes.
Well, hello. Someone seems to have found himself a bottle of alcohol. Light reflects off the green glass of the Commodore Red. The gods have been generous. Wow, the gods of mass production have made this alcohol container laughably easy to open. A child could have done it. There's a satisfying pop as the cork jumps out, and the hair on your back rises like an army at attention. You've been here before. Nothing. Some mental stuff. Nothing to be worried about. Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eaten. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Yes, it can be difficult to be on the receiving end of so much distrust and outright hatred.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing excrement at passers-by, shouting, "I never loved that woman." When asked to comment, former colleagues objected to the theory that his psychological disintegration was precipitated by his wife leaving him. "It's because the Furrows lost that match," said Captain Ptolemy Price, once the man's superior officer. "It's because he couldn't get a big gun from acquisitions, and anyway, police work really